let's look at the daily language review for Tuesday. The first section says complete the analogies. Now when we have an analogy, we see a colon, which separates the first two words that are being compared, and then you'll see two colons, which show that this is another analogy. So we're going to complete this analogy to show that these two are related the same way that these two words are related. This is how you would read it. Pepto-Bismol is to pink as Elmer's glue is to blank. Well, when I'm doing an analogy, I think to myself, Pepto-Bismol is pink. So I would say that same sentence, but use Elmer's glue. So I would say Elmer's glue is, well, I know that that's white. So white would complete that analogy. Oops. There we go, white. Okay, number 2. Zebra is to stripes as leopard is to blank. A zebra has stripes and a leopard has spots. So number 2 would be spots. Let's look at the next section. Which word is a verb in the following sentence? Well, we've been doing some practice with parts of speech, so hopefully you remember that a verb is an action word. So let's read this sentence and see what the action word is. She peeled the orange carefully. Well, what is she doing? She's peeling. So peeled is the verb. Now let's look at the last section. Correct these sentences. Mrs. Humphreys asked, "Who is ordering lunch today?" Well, I know that the first word needs to be capitalized. I also need to put a period after Mrs. because that's an abbreviation. And since her name is Mrs. Humphreys, Humphreys needs to be capitalized as well. Now, in this sentence, Mrs. Humphrey is saying something, and the words that she is speaking is who is ordering lunch today. So we need to have quotation marks around those words. And within those quotation marks, we need to capitalize the first word. And since she's asking a question, we need to make sure that we put a question mark in there. And our question mark needs to go inside those quotation marks. Now there's one other thing that we need to fix on this sentence. Whenever somebody is speaking, we need to put a comma between what they're saying and the rest of the sentence. So it would say, Mrs. Humphreys asked, comma, who is ordering lunch today? So let's write that sentence out correctly. Mrs. Humphreys asked, comma, who is ordering lunch today? Question mark and quotation marks. All right, let's look at the last sentence. Us don't have no pets in our family. All right, hopefully you realize that this first word shouldn't be us. We should change that to we don't have any pets in our family. We have to remember to capitalize the we because it's the first word in the sentence. We also need to remember to put a period at the end because this is just a statement. So let's look at writing that sentence correctly. We don't have any pets in our family. All right, very nice.